I mean, I need something slippery. I'm like, I need something slippery. And the props guy way in the back holds his hand up. He says, I have KY jelly.
Yeah, props
Of course
guy.
you do, you little grub.
How are snipers? Welcome to the podcast. This is Not For Radio, where your host, Duncan Hyde, Jay Reeve. Hell of a potty today.
Yeah.
A big, meaty old interview with Cris, who is from Arizona, or based in Arizona, who has basically Noah's Ark of animals at her place, and she trains them all for movies.
Dunk was wanting me to tell a story about how I indulged in some fun guy juice, but I ended up telling him how I almost got punched in the face by an international musician and movie star.
I love it how you didn't question it either, because you've told that yarn like once or twice before, and you're just like, okay, I'll get into it. And it is a great yarn also. So the mushroom juice tomorrow on the podcast.
The result of a cow stomping on your genitals if you're a man.
We hear from also one of the greatest snipers of all time, Owen Sadler. He's got an update on his mum accidentally sending a very funny message to a bloke she had the hots for. It was quite a lot younger than her.
What happens if you do the mangina in a very well-known fast food restaurant?
And one of the weirdest thumbs I think we've ever seen. A reminder, you can become a Sniper Elite. That's 2 extra episodes a week. It unlocks about 250 other episodes, so if you've burnt through them, it's the best way to get all those. Well, the only way you can get all those, and the best way to support us. There's a link inside the description of this episode.
Also, to everybody that messaged in about Mustard's yarn that he sent through, we could not agree more. It was absolutely hilarious.
That was on Monday I think it was. And that for the first time ever doing this podcast, my face was that sore from laughing after you'd read that war story that I was like, I don't know if I want to do the rest of this podcast today. I was fucking done.
The show was done.
Yeah, I had to move my war story to the end just in case it was just as funny.
Yeah, and to the Sniper Elite here, we've got some winners, Team Kit and so on and so forth. Jay Elms, Daniel Pudney and Rye Goodridge. Congratulations, fellas.
Nice work. Enjoy the potty.
Attention snipers, gear up and hold your positions. It's time to load up some war stories, your tales from the front line, brought to life. Prepare to fire.
I am wearing camo for the first time ever. I'm ready for this. Let's go to war, baby.
Hey,
it's even got a picture of a knife on the sleeve of it.
It's a Glorious Victory Knives camouflage hoodie, which is a very limited edition. And part of the Sharp Blacks, which is the New Zealand butchery team.
I feel like we should strike up that relationship again. I like the idea of arming our podcast listeners. Like if shit happens and everyone's got a good stack of victory knives, I think we could go onwards to victory.
So a fun fact, I think it's 1906 the company was first started, and a good buddy of ours has since purchased it. And when he was going through, because it's still a factory which operates here in New Zealand, he was going through and they had these knives that they sent over to the world wars, and they had these bone crushing parts on them. So there was like a handle which had a bit that you would hammer fist somebody with, which was basically meant to go through their skull, and a little knife that would poke out between your fingers that you just punch into people. Had some really cool stuff. I'm not saying that we're going to bring those back to life, but
I'm saying we should.
Okay,
if we're thinking about invasion. Let's call them, I don't know, chicken drumstick filter or something. Call it something else. You don't want to be calling it the fucking human finisher or something.
the invasion special.
What would be some other good, I realise we haven't gotten to the war story, but what would be some other good weapons, not weapons? Like if people go, oh, Jay and Dunc are giving away this, we know it's a weapon, but from the outside doesn't look like a weapon.
It could be a baseball bat with a baseball and then a pack of nails. Anyway, any idea is not a bad idea until it's deemed illegal. A friend of mine had not a flamethrower held at customs here. It's stuck in limbo. So he bought one when they first came out, which is Elon Musk's flamethrower. But it's called not a flamethrower.
Didn't he do that to get enough funding to make like stuff?
It was something crazy.
Like back in the day?
He just does these dumb things just to show that he can sell stuff.
That's for the tunnel.
Yeah. Atomic Tom is a massive tunneling fan, and so he just updated.
He just likes holes, apparently.
He's a massive hole driller. Anywho, speaking of Toms, into the war story we go. This is from Tom.
Great.
In Queensland, not here. G'day, fellas and fellettes. You can call me Tom, because that's my fucking name. Yeah. This is off the back of that fella who broke his dick on the cruise ship.
Oh, my God.
Bit of a war story here for your enjoyment. Many, many years ago, when I was a young lad, I'd been courting a lovely lady whose family were fairly big into horses, rodeos, and that type of redneckery.
Mean.
I used to go along to a lot of the events, and as such, often went with her family members' comps as well. This one event, her younger brother, probably about 10 or 12 at the time, was just starting out at some junior bull riding. An enthusiastic kid, it was his first ride of the day, and he went charging out on this wild young steer, and as with everyone that tries to ride an angry animal, you eventually end up in the dirt. Unfortunately, as the young bloke has hit the ground, he's landed on his back, legs wide, and the important parts exposed. Now, at this point, it's important to note he did have a box cup on for protection, but it's not rated. It's not rated to a few hundred kilos of a fucking angry cow.
Oh. That should change.
The steer's back hoof came down hard, and there was an audible pop. Oh, fuck.
Pasted it. Mortar and pestle his nut.
The scream/yell is probably one of the worst things I've ever heard. Thankfully, the ambos were ready at the event, and he got seen to quickly. Laying there with the ambos and parents assessing the situation, we go over to see how he's doing. He's been given the old green whistle and fairly cheery about now. Spotting us, he says, "Hey, look at this." Pulls back his privacy blanket and shows us the damage. The young bloke's now got what can be best described as a banana ready for your mother-in-law's famous banana bread.
Instant bruising.
Shit. Overripe, black, and bent much more than you'd ever expect a dick could bend to. Needless to say, he had a fairly quick trip to the hospital, and after some fairly major surgery, he was on the mend. Went to see him while he was still recovering in the hospital. He's in really good spirits, and after telling me he'd become very popular with everyone at school with an injury that no one could see. He then told me, that's me, that he was a bit disappointed as the lovely nurse had told him that the swelling he was experiencing was going to subside, and unfortunately he won't keep getting the rapid growth that he had expected. Many years later, I still see him around the place. His nickname has since become Kong because of his big banana. Love your work, up the Rabbitohs.
Jeez. So... there was that much swelling already, it looked impressive.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So he didn't break his dick. He still pasted a nut probably if there was a pop. Or was that the pop of the cup, do you think?
The pop of the cup, but it would have buckled his dick as well.
I don't know if you can break your dick when it's soft.
Yeah, I'd say you could. With the vein underneath it, that one there would fuck out in a heartbeat. If it gets fucking booted by a hoof.
I mean, if anything's going to do it.
It's that.
Yeah.
And so it would just fill up with blood. And there's a certain amount of restriction and vasodilation that goes on in an erection. And you can actually, remember we had our mate telling us about it, how he pumps his one up and it looks like...
He's the only guy I know with a dick pump.
Yeah.
I reckon he's got the Rolls Royce.
He reckons he's got the Rolls Royce. He puts electric shocks into the end of it and he runs it off an air compressor.
Yeah, did he end up saying he runs off the back of a tractor?
No, he runs it off a fucking PTO unit.
Jeez, that story got so out of hand. We're yarning, and he's like, you know what the worst part is? He's trying to explain the John Deere in the driveway when my missus got home. Oh, man. Explain what a PTO unit is for people that aren't farmers.
A PTO unit.
PTO.
A PTO sticks out the back of a tractor and you basically hook appliances onto it, such as like a feed-out wagon or a baling
Straight
machine.
off the diff.
Straight. It's just
Just
fucking
above it.
pure torque. It just fucking runs like nothing else.
So the same thing that's driving the wheels would have been driving his dick pump.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive. Anyway, it was fucking very funny. We were very hammered. It was very late.
Yes, it was. One of the great snipers, Owen Sadler, sent us a voice memo.
July 9th, 2001.
No, this one. No, this one. No, this one. No. Oh.
You would have been sent it last week.
Did we listen to it last week, though?
No, you listened to the first one.
Now, Owen Sadler sent his message last week. I don't think I was here for it. It must have been
No,
Friday,
it must have been Friday.
when old Heathy boy got the bloody ambulance ride.
Did his little fucking base jumping.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
base.
which if you haven't caught up on that, why my youngest had to go to hospital. That's on Monday's Sniper Elite episode. Super fucking hectic. But that was the full breakdown. But
Yeah.
long story short, the kids recover fast, luckily.
He bounced well.
All right. Here's the voice memo number 2 from OS. What was the first one about?
It was about his mum who accidentally messaged her whole class about the hot teacher.
I was here for that.
Yes.
Yes. There was the hot yoga teacher or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The hot,
Okay.
and wasn't the hot Italian fucking
Or
something?
Puerto Rican or something spicy.
Anyway,
Something
here
that sounds like a dish.
Yeah. Something that some old duck could be keen on.
Right then, lads. Owen again from South Wales, and an update on the Giordano Angela Sadler situation. As you know, she sent that gushing message to the group chat of her choir, and the day after they thought that they were going to be ridiculed, but everyone that she asked surreptitiously said that they hadn't seen it, so she thought that she got away with it. That was until this week, when after the rehearsal, the whole choir decided to go out for a meal. My parents took my younger brother, who's 32. Now, for context, my brother's got a brain injury that he suffered when he was younger, meaning that he's actually got the mental age of a 6-year-old, which also means that he has no filter and no tact. And during the meal, he walked straight up to Giordano and said, "My mum thinks you're gorgeous," and she sent that to the choir. Immediately embarrassing my mother in front of everyone, and doing the same to Giordano. So, yeah, she didn't get away with it. And that's all from me. Over and out. Ta-da!
Oh, you're an
was
absolute gift, Owen.
Yeah. That was the perfect crime, and then just unraveled.
I love it how they've got to deal, because I've got a 6-year-old at the moment, and 4-year-olds are probably worse, to be honest. Actually, I don't know what age it ends, but I love it how they've got to deal with that for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Like,
But wouldn't it just keep you fucking honest?
just so refreshing.
Yeah, because there's so much social etiquette and EQ that then goes into, placating everybody's feelings, and there's something
And
something
thinking
nice
about, you can say something, but then you've got to think about how it's received, and you may, like, text messages is obviously worse,
Yeah.
but like and we do it like subconsciously now, like when you say something to somebody, you go, this, I'm pretty sure this is going to come across right, but like learning that as a young buck,
Yeah.
and then figuring out what's okay, like someone walks in a new shirt and you go, that's ugly, not okay.
so
That's interesting, marginal.
Yeah, there's so I came home last night as an example of this. I've twin 11-year-old boys, and so I walked in. There was something, I can't even remember what was the catalyst of it, and it was something to do with. Oh no, it was. I said to the boys, how's my 3 favourite people?
I said that to my boys last
Yeah.
night too. I was like, how's my 3 favourite boys? Left
Yeah.
the wife out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I included the wife, so 3 favourite people.
Mental note.
And so Oski goes, well, what about Nan and Pop, which is my parents? And I was like, well, as soon as you have your own family, that supersedes the love that you have for your parents. And so then Anna goes, oh, tell me that you're never gonna love somebody more than me. And the boys are very good at it. Anna's whatever fucking star sign she is, so she needs her tires pumped all the time. They're real good at it. And so she's like, eventually, one of us is going to be gone, and then we'll be like 4th on the list or whatever it is. And then Oski goes, Dad will go first. He's on the darts. And I was like, classic, like, well timed. And so we're kind of chuckling away. And so Hunter's like, here's my turn to jump in. Nah, he'll probably get killed on his motorbike. And then it just went silent. Everyone's like, whoa, fucking calm down.
Coming way too hard.
Yeah.
What? I thought it was a trust
Yeah,
tree.
it's
I
like,
thought we were bantering.
He's like, I'm only
We
kidding.
were.
Yeah, I'm only kidding. Anyway.
Killed on this motorcycle. What?
Fucking, jeez, that's what rough.
All right,
mate.
mate, go to your room.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. They're at a real funny age. They've actually got great senses of humour, and they're fucking very clever. So they can They'll lead you into shit, which I really appreciate. They'll just set something up or do that whole comedian thing where you reference something from very earlier on, bring it back.
Callback gags are the best.
So good. Anywho, this is one that this is a message I got from one of my mates last night. He used to serve in the military, and he went for his firearms license. And as a part of that, they say, "Have you got any previous convictions or anything that we should be aware of?" And so he said, "No, because being part of the military means that everything when you're caught doing something naughty, it just goes to the military police, and so it sits on like a different ledger." According to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he's like, so he's just going through his firearms license. Anything you need to tell me. This is with a police officer giving you your license. He's like, nope, nothing. He's like, not a single thing. Nothing. He's like, well, I wonder what I've got here then. And spins around the computer and there's all of the shit that he's done listed. And he's like, oh, fuck. I thought that stayed with the military. And he's like, no, we have access to it too. And so he was like, any chance I could get that because now it's public information. And so he sends it over to him and he's like, have a go at this.
Oh, have you got the list?
Yeah. I can say, should I say what restaurant it's from?
No.
Okay. Let's just call it the Golden Arches. Okay, so this
say which one.
Exactly. This one's in Australia anyway. And so it says, this is dated 14th of March 2011. So this is quite a while ago. Hi, person's name that will never be said. Further to our discussion earlier and after liaising with security, we have decided to uphold your 12-month ban from said restaurant, wherever it is, store. More details have emerged of your behaviour and it would be imprudent of me not to take this seriously. You repeatedly flashed your mangina to security. You drank alcohol on the premises. You returned 4 fillet fishes, each time asking to talk to the fisherman responsible. And finally, as security escorted you out, you dived onto the ground, pretending to be pushed over and faked a seizure. Kind regards, store manager. Fuck, it's so good. Like, you you just go, the dumb shit you do as a kid. Well, admittedly, he wasn't a kid. He was like in his late teens, probably early 20s even. Well, as I was reading it, I was like, fuck, that is just such a him thing to do.
A handful.
He is so chaos. And he's a classic example. And you'll know these people. You would have gone to school with him. You would have went to university with him. Like, so wildly intelligent that he's just fucking bored with what's going on in real life. Yeah. And so he has to create his own fun. And you can create your own fun by being like a fucking Lego specialist and locking yourself in your room or fucking making manginas in front of security at a restaurant in the middle of a town and then being a fucker when they tell you to leave. That's the sort of person that ends up, coming out of that situation.
That is amazing. Okay, we've got another war story to do at the end of the podcast, but first we want to play you the interview we had with this guest. She was awesome, man. You're really going to love her. A real treat, and she's been a fan of the show for ages, and it's nice.
We're massive fans of hers now for life.
Yeah, nice that we were able to finally line it up.
G'day, snipers. This is from Australia, and you're listening to Not For Radio with Jay and Dunc. In the famous words of Gandhi, take it easy, and if it's easy, take it home.
What an absolute treat it is. We've been looking forward to this for ages, and to be honest, we had to reschedule once, and then our guest's excuse for reshuffling was far more legit than ours. She has worked with some of Hollywood's most unpredictable stars. We're not talking about actors or actresses with ego problems. We're talking about wild friggin' animals that she has to tame. Hawks, horses, wolves, snakes, everything, kangaroos, everything in between. Cris is a world-class animal trainer based in Arizona with a career wrangling critters for blockbuster films and hit TV shows, high-profile commercials. You bloody name it, Cris has done it. Welcome to the bloody podcast, Cris.
Well, hello. Thank you. Good to finally talk to you guys.
What a treat.
It has been a minute, and you, like Dunc said, apologies for mucking things around. But if we could take it back to the beginning, how did this career come about? It's very niche.
Well, it is very niche. I think that you're just kind of like literally born like a crazy animal nut. So I really didn't have that many animals in my family. I just, like, from the time I can remember, just wanted to catch snakes and lizards and frogs. And wanted things to land on me. I don't know, but I started when I was about 19 with a company in Los Angeles that specialized in big cats and large predators, bears, tigers, and then they did everything else, like everything from bugs to dogs and cats and reptiles.
So you basically straight out of high school, you go into working in the industry you're in now?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, I think I positioned myself the best I could. You know, I inserted myself everywhere that I could with the exotic animals. And I actually, when I was 17, I stalked a bear trainer that was working on a movie called The Bear. His name's Doug Seuss. He had a very famous bear, Bart the Bear. I stalked him at a state fair. And here I am now in my 50s. And last year I stayed at his house and ate pizza and drank beer with him. So full circle.
Isn't that weird how life works out like that? I mean, you know, you're the master of your own success, I guess. You knew what you wanted. You put yourself in the position and things start happening. What was the first day on the job like? So you sign on the dotted line, you're now officially an animal trainer. Like, what's the first job that comes in?
Well, the first job that came in, I think, was a movie called Made to Order with Ali Sheedy, and it was like in the late 80s. And then I had one of the first ones that they sent me on, which they didn't tell me about, funny haha, and I was very naive and very young, was they sent me on a movie called Casual Sex with the Basset Hound, and did not tell me that the entire scene was a nude beach scene. And there's like Ron Jeremy naked in front of me.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like just sitting there with this Basset Hound, not like trying not to look at anybody, just like looking at the ground and very embarrassed. So that was one of my first film experiences.
Casual Sex with a Basset Hound. What a title.
Yeah.
What's been
the dog a boner that day?
Yeah. That's when you watch a hedgehog have sex. That's what it was more commonly referred to, or Ron Jeremy. From there, you were specialising in the big cats and bears things. Like, we are fascinated. In New Zealand, we have nothing that could even remotely harm you. But in the States, you've got all of the domestic animals, but you've also got loads and loads and loads of exotic imported animals as well. What is the sketchiest animal? And obviously they're like human personalities. You have some that are very docile, some that are very highly strung. What's been the worst animal client that you've had to work with?
I don't know. You know, I mean, I think the most unpredictable, obviously, are like bugs, right? Or like things like scorpions and tarantulas and things like that, because they don't really have it's not true that they don't have a personality. They do. If you pick up 5 tarantulas, some of them are going to be much more moody than other ones, and you can tell. And so you can lift them up, and this one's fangs are sticking straight out, and this one's like not. You know, and so when you're working with things like that, I actually got bitten by a tarantula a couple months ago, the first time in 40 years. And I was really lucky it was me and not the actor that got bit, because I don't think I would have wanted to hear those press junkets that I got this particular actor bitten by a tarantula. But yeah, but anyway, and you know, cats, I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but cats are cats, whether they're big cats or whether they're not. You really, you know, they can be fine one second and not fine another second. And I have firsthand experience with that. So.
Explain more. Please explain more the first-hand experience that didn't go so well. Because, I mean, we're a pro-cat show.
That was what I originally wrote into you guys. This was a bobcat that I had raised. It was an orphan bobcat. It showed up on my front door in a Home Depot bucket. Would have died. It was with its little sister. And I raised him, and, you know, I mean, like a cat, right? They purr, they rub on your legs. This guy had been on Jimmy Kimmel like twice. Betty White had played with this bobcat. He did a movie with Jessica Chastain. I mean, he'd been all over the place. And just one day I'd been watching a movie with my daughter, who was about 18 at the time. And I guess I have to set it up in the fact that I had to feed him and his cage mates separately because they're cats and they would fight. So I had him separated, and I was going back out to put them back together. And we had been watching a movie. So I am in a full-on furry teddy bear onesie with ears. And I mean, I'm like not thinking about it. He had actually gotten out for a half a second, so I'm out and I'm like, oh shit, where is he? And he comes running to me like a dog. He's like purring and he's rubbing on my leg, and I'm like, what a good boy, you're so good. And I bend down to tell him he's a good boy and pet him, and he locks eyes with me and he flies into my face. And he bites into my right eye, and I feel it pop.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Yes, like I literally like a grape. Yeah, and this is my eyeball, right? So he bites into my right eye, I feel it pop, everything goes black, and I'm like, fuck. Okay, and you just react. You at that point it doesn't even hurt. You're just like, all I know is that my right eyeball just popped, and now he's trying to get my left one. So he's grabbing on. He's on my face. He's got my right eyeball. He's trying to get my left eyeball, and I grab him by the scruff of the neck, because that's what we do as animal trainers. I grab him by the scruff, and I throw him off of me, and he comes right back. And so I turn my head, he jumps on my head again, and he puts a gash in my head that later would require 26 stitches. Yeah, but now at this point, I've got so much blood in my left eye, even though he didn't injure that one. And I think that my right eye is gone. Like I actually think that I don't have an eye anymore. But I'm still in like animal trainer mode, and all I'm thinking of is I can't leave him out here. I got to get him back in the cage. So he's dangling, by the scruff, like squealing and dangling, and I'm feeling around the cage for the latch, and I'm just trying to feel, and he's just like this, oversized house cat freaking out. And I find the latch and throw him inside, but now I can't see shit, can't see anything, and I've got to make it back into my house. So I think I don't have a right eye anymore. I can't see anything out of my left eye. Crawling back to the house in my little furry onesie, and now I'm trying to compose myself because my daughter's watching TV. And so I'm around the corner. I come into the house and I'm like, baby, and she can tell there's something wrong, because I'm not like a freaker outer. I'm not a screamer. Like, I mean, I'll cry on social media all day long at something touching, but I won't cry like when something is hurting me, right? So I'm composing myself, and I'm around the corner. I'm like, baby, don't freak out. And she can tell in my voice that something has happened. And I'm like, baby, don't freak out. You're going to have to take me to the hospital. And I come around the corner, and she's just like, oh my God. But now she's driving me to the hospital, and I'm still in this onesie. And so I go walking into my little tiny community hospital in my little town, looking like something from The Walking Dead with a furry fetish.
Man, that is so What was it? I mean, we'll get to the injuries in a second, but do you know what it was? Was it the onesie that triggered the reaction, or was that just the unpredictability of wild animals?
I really don't think it was the onesie. I mean, he had been around so much stuff. I think more that it was the fact that he had gotten out, and he was just kind of fired up, and he was just jacked up. And I think in hindsight, like you always remember things later, right? In hindsight, he had jumped up towards my face a couple other times while I was standing, and I always blocked him. And maybe I just kind of poo-pooed that, and I most of the time when people get hurt when they're working with animals, it's like, to me, we're doing something that we love, and it's no different what I'm doing than somebody who decides he wants to, skydive for a living or drive NASCAR, right? Like, we understand that there's risks involved, as long as you don't hurt anybody else, but it's always human error. So I think he was just jacked up. And I think I just bent down, and it was dark out, and he was amped up, and he locked eyes with me, and they don't do well when you lock eyes with them. And he just flew into my face. There's actually a skit on, well, it's not a skit. It was a presentation we did on Jimmy Kimmel, where he's on the desk and Dave Salmoni's on there with him. And he says, don't lock eyes with him. And Jimmy's going, I won't lock eyes with him. Oh shit, And this is obviously before any of this happened. and you can see him like getting a little irritated when somebody looks at him. So he had never done it before, but just shit happens. Just shit happens. I mean, I've been doing this for 40 years, and the thing that gets me, I literally have been underneath with their arms completely around me, a 650-pound black bear, and have been totally fine. And it's my little 20-pound bobcat that fucks me up.
How's oh my god? How's the accuracy though? Gets one crack at it and pops your fucking eyeball. That just goes to show how much of an apex predator they are.
Right? It's this eyeball right here, but I'm still, mostly cute.
I didn't even we didn't know what the story was, and so obviously we could see on the video and stuff, and I was just like, you definitely cannot tell. I mean, obviously if we're in the same room, you'd be able to, but at the very start, there wasn't any clues for me.
What is the process once you pop an eyeball?
Yeah, so what? You turn up to your local one, and they go, we're not dealing with this shit, and so where do you go from there?
Well, when I went into the clinic, the second they told me my eye was still there, I was cracking jokes. Because I just wanted to know my eyeball was still there. They were like, oh yeah, your eye's still there. So it ended up that I ended up with 5 stitches in my cornea. He popped underneath here. And so he bit, there's just a tiny little scar, but he bit under it. And then it still had mostly pressure, but I didn't know if I was really going to be able to see out of it normally. And I wasn't for a very long time. And one particular doctor fixed my eye after 4 other doctors told me tough shit. You'll never be the same. Wow. So
is it almost like a badge of honor, like you and all your cohort of animal training buddies, you're wearing a patch, someone else is missing an arm. It's like if you're not missing something from being fucking rickrolled by one of the animals, does it mean that you're not kind of doing your job?
Are you not a real trainer then?
Right. Yeah, I think we all have scars, we all have some pretty good stories, and I mean, I'm just lucky that it really, as bad as it seemed in the moment, it wasn't that bad, and cosmetically it's okay, it's fine, it's like if I didn't tell people, they wouldn't really know. But yeah, it does. Do you remember that time in that Bobcat? It's kind of like that scene in Jaws, where it's like pulling up his pant leg, going, "This one was, yeah." So there's good stories.
So what's the vision like in it now? Is there a percentage you can give us, or how good at a job did that last doc do?
I would say it's probably 90%, and it went from about 40 or 50%. It basically changed the shape of my eyeball. So I had a really bad astigmatism. So it was kind of like if you were wearing glasses and you smeared Vaseline over the lens, that's what my vision was like. I couldn't see a bird in the tree. I couldn't see stars. I couldn't see any of that stuff. And I literally had 3 doctors just kind of pat me on the shoulder and go, "Oh, honey, get used to it. That's your lot. That's your cards that you got." And then this one doctor in San Diego, Dr. Matwani, he said, he goes, "I can fix your eye," and he sure as shit did. He did.
What
so
an absolute
90%.
Yeah, great. What a weapon.
Yeah.
And talk us through the stitches. So was there a flap of skin, or it's just a scratch, like a bad scratch mark, or?
No, it was under, so you really didn't see it. I mean, my face my left eye almost looked more gnarly. It looked like somebody had punched me in the face. My eyes were very bruised, and then the white part of my eyes were really bloody. And then there was a puncture here, but because it was kind of under my eyelid, you didn't really see the injury because it was under. But then I had marks all over my left eye and up and down in my right eye. And then my daughter would, when she took me to the hospital, she's like, "Mom, I can see your skull."
Cool.
And
you got stapled back together. You got stapled back together, and then you get stapled back together at hospital, and then you go home. What's the relationship with the Bobcat like post this incident?
Well, okay, so I didn't go home right away because any kind of a cat bite is super dirty, right? So the injury itself wasn't as much of a concern as getting infected. So I was in the hospital for 3 days on like massive amounts of antibiotics. But in that time, what I was worried about is I have all of my animals obviously legally. They're all licensed, they're all permitted. These are not animals that you can have as a pet in the state of Arizona in the US here. These are all permitted animals. However, because he bit me like that, I was worried that the health department would get involved, and I was worried that they were going to euthanize him. So from the hospital, like in the ambulance, because they had to ship me to another hospital. My little hospital couldn't deal with the surgery and all the stuff that was required. From the ambulance, I was on the phone calling my friends going, we got to get him out of here, because I don't want them to put him down. He's a bobcat. It's like, he's doing bobcat things. It's a natural thing. And so I'm not gonna make him pay with his life, So anyway, long story short, we got him on a plane and I sent him to a sanctuary, and that's where he is now in another state, because I was afraid that they were going to come down and put him down, and I didn't want that to happen.
Okay, let's have a bit of a yarn about the reason that you had to postpone the chat, which we referenced at the start of this chat. This was just like last week before, and you had a bit going on, yeah?
Yeah, this is the second time in a year. We had a fire and we had to evacuate everybody. And I've got like 7 boxes of 3 different species. I've got 2 raccoons. I've got a badger. Like, trying to get a badger, it's not that easy to get a badger in a crate. And then we've got kangaroo, capybara. We've got, anteater, sloth, and we've got all of these animals here, vultures, not to mention my 6 dogs, my roommate's 3, some 9 dogs, like 7 house cats, and then goats and sheep and horses and donkeys. So yeah, my community is like really fucking cool, and they just all showed up. People showed up, lasso and shit and trailers, and just showed the fuck up, and we got everything out in about an hour. And then,
wow, man.
Yeah. My local vet took most of my exotic animals, and last year when it happened, another sanctuary took them for a couple days, and then everybody's safe and back home. I am happy to report.
Oh, I would just love to see the setup. I would love to see the setup that you're running. I'd love to see what's entailed in the food bill for all of these animals. I would love to see how they all interact with one another. Is it one big happy family, or horses are dicks, so they need to be kept away from everybody else? And donkeys can be assholes, so they need to stay in a different part of the farm. And foxes are sneaky little bastards, so they need to be super locked up. Or what sort of cutter are they running?
Well, there's some of that. Like, I tend to raise my animals with weird friends. So like my little fennec fox has, her best buddy is a house cat, and they love each other. And, I just have these weird mixes of animals together. But yeah, like, you don't want to put a fox in with a groundhog, because that's the food chain.
That's
and the badger doesn't really like anybody, so we can't put him with anybody, and the kangaroo. The kangaroo broke out of the crate in the car and was like in somebody's lap while they were driving it to the. We got them like bear hugging the kangaroo. I was and some of these people, I wasn't even sure where my animals were going. Like, people just showed up and they're like calling me, going, "Okay, well, this one's over here, and here's a picture of the kangaroo in the back seat of a car with somebody bear hugging it." Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Oh God, what's going to happen? People just turning up being like, "Yeah, well, I just wanted a grizzly bear. Who'd you giving away animals?"
Yeah, a couple of the guys showed up, and I was like, "You think you can get that kangaroo and that capybara in a crate?" And they were like, "Sure." And they're like young, strapping fellows in their 30s, and they're like, "We can do it," and they did. They did.
Wow. So it's an interesting setup, and this is me having no idea about it, but essentially you're holding all these animals, you look after them, you love them, you've got to pay for them to be fed, but you're only getting paid when one of them gets picked up to be in a movie. So I guess the question is do they get picked up frequently enough to make this like it's a good business for you?
Yeah, I mean, most of the animal trainers I know aren't rich. There's a couple of them that are the big time guys, which I know most of those people, but I think most of us do this just because we really love them. And the bulk of my stuff is dogs and cats. You know, it's print work, it's commercials, it's I did a movie called Daddy's Home like 10 years ago with my little terrier, and that was the down payment on my house. So my raccoon works a lot because I have a really nice raccoon, and my fox works a lot, and my little niche is that I have nice animals that you can put next to an actor, because there are companies out there that have some really well-trained raccoons, but you can't put them on Seth Rogen's head like we did. So, you know, so my raccoon you can put on an actor's head. Sorry about the name dropping. I'm not sure if we can do that.
No. I love it. I love it.
We got no idea. Like, obviously, you know what you've done throughout your career, but we've got no idea. So we're all about it.
Right. So you know, that's kind of my little niche with a lot of the LA companies, is they'll call me in if they need to put a raccoon on somebody's couch sitting next to them in close proximity with them, or a little fox or something like that, because I have particularly friendly animals. So those do, when they work, they do all right. We've done lots of TV shows and commercials and things with them.
Are there things like when, if you were to be the human actor in these sort of setups, you're not allowed to wear like a cologne, or they hate the smell of cigarettes, or they don't like these lights, or they can't sit on this sort of fabric? Do they have their own little quirks where you go, no, that could really get pretty spicy quite quickly if you don't follow these rules?
Yeah, see, and that's good that you said that, because a lot of people wouldn't even thought of that, right? Like we have, I just did a little indie movie the other day, and there was so much theater smoke, you know, or we did a commercial with the air brakes on a semi truck, and the air brakes are a very scary noise, and people don't, you know, and this dog was a very experienced dog, but just like really was bothered by the air brakes. The fake blood that they use is super sweet. So sometimes the animals want to lick it and eat it, you know. So, and that was another story that I kind of told you about with the blood. That I don't know if you want to hear that one or not, but
yeah, 100%.
So, what?
Yeah, give us the blood story. We love this
shit.
You
want the blood? Okay, so what this is this is just more funny. It's more funny and not like an actual injury, but it is a funny film story. So I got called by a producer. And it's not a big time producer, like big movies and stuff, really big movies. And he calls me and he says, Cris, he's like, I need an old lady who's going to be cool with a snake under her shirt and hands up in there under her shirt. He goes, I figured you knew people like that. And my business partner, who started my company that I now own, was in her 70s, and she didn't have any problem with snakes. And so I called her up and I'm like, hey, Jerry, do you want to be a dead butcher lady? And I'm going to have my hands under your shirt and this big giant snake under your shirt. Are you going to be cool with that? She's like, yeah, no problem. So on the day they're making her up, and Jerry, she's an older lady. They're sitting there and got her in the chair, and they're doing this big gash in her neck, and she's literally snoring. She fell asleep. She's snoring, and it's just very gruesome looking. And we get ready to film, and the gag was that these people come into the town. They come into this room, and everybody's dead, but they think that somebody's alive because they see them from behind, because the head is moving, and the reveal is the chair spinning around and the snake coming out from under the collar. So it's kind of an important little scene in this one little spot. And so we're ready to go. Jerry's all covered in blood, and this stuff is sticky. And I've got my hands under her shirt, and the director's like, action snake. And so I go, and he's like, action snake. And I'm like, and nothing's happening. And he's like, Cris, what's the problem? And I'm like, well, he's stuck to her.
The blood's too sticky.
It's so sticky, like the snake can't move. And this is a big ass snake. This is a 6 foot fucking gopher snake. and it's got a girth like this big around, and it's stuck to her. So he's like, well, what are we gonna do? And I said, well, I don't know. Let's just try some maybe PVC pipe or something. We'll stick some PVC pipe in there. We'll try to fish the snake up through it. And this isn't working. And the director's getting really frustrated. Now, of course, when you're on a film, it's all your fault. And he's like, what are we gonna do? We got to make this work. And I said, well, I don't know. Put my hands on my hips. I'm like, I need something sticky. I need something slippery. I'm like, I need something slippery. And the props guy way in the back holds his hand up. He says, I have KY jelly.
Yeah, props.
Of course you do, you little grub.
Right. So I'm thinking, okay, non-toxic, because we have humane reps on the show. We can't do anything to injure the snake. I'm like, it's non-toxic. It's going to work fine. But now, in front of a predominantly male crew, I am lubing
off a snake.
a 6-foot gopher snake up from top to bottom.
Didn't even buy him dinner first.
They're staring at me like burning a hole in my soul, and I'm just beet red. And I just, for like 5 minutes, I have to just sit here and do this. Snake.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did it work
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
Did it work? Was it slippery like it said on the packet?
Yeah, and it totally worked. So that's like a little bit of movie magic. You just never know what's happening behind the scenes. So if you ever watch a Stephen King movie called Desperation and you see a snake come out from under a lady's shirt, then you'll know that I was there.
You were jerking it off.
I was jerking the snake off in front of about 30 people. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to watch
Oh,
it
me.
tonight now. I want to see the scene. Amazing.
And
Oh.
it's such a pivotal role, like you said, when the whole film can hang on one of those moments when you're trying to work with. They say never work with animals or kids, and that's your chosen profession. Like I've done these. I did a series of commercials for a dog food company years ago, and I basically just had my face licked by a puppy for like 14 hours. It was so punishing. And I'd deliver my piece that needed to go out, but then the dog wouldn't happen on cue. And this is New Zealand. We don't have animal trainers here. We've got someone who just had a puppy that was like, yeah, sweet, it's a good-looking dog. We'll bring it along. And they're just hoping for the best. And what would have taken an hour normally took like 14 hours. It was wounding.
No. Did they put peanut butter or baby food on your face?
Yeah, that's what ended up going. Yeah, it was like
That was after 13 and a half hours.
Yeah. But I had that. We were just chewing through pet food and peanut butter and everything. And then the dog would get full because it's just smashing all this food off my face. It's only a puppy. And then it would need to sleep for like an hour because it would just comatose out. It's like, fuck.
Hey, Cris, what's on the horizon for you? Is there any animals that you want to get within your stock, or is there movies you've got coming up that you're working on that you can talk about? You probably have to sign NDAs, do you?
Well, I actually have, one, it's an indie film. So they're just excited to get the word out. So, it's a little different when you're working on like a big blockbuster movie, I've worked on movies like Transformers, and, if you so much as pull your phone out, you're fired. But then the little indie movies are like, yes, please promote us. So I did work on a little movie just recently, with Dee Wallace, who was the mom from E.T., and she was in some cool movies, The Howling, Cujo, some of these old school movies. It's called The Licked Hand, and we had to do a lot of the licking. There was a lot of licking and a lot of baby food smeared on her face and kisses and on fingers, and my little dog had to do an attack scene, and so that's coming up. This Friday, I have an event that I have to bring a bunch of reptiles and birds and a sloth too. We're just gonna sit on a thing. We just have to. The worst part of that thing is that you got to keep the drunk people from like poking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Because everybody wants they're drunk and they want to grab things or touch them, and then your job is just to sit there and go, no. So
You're like, read the T-shirt. The T-shirt just says, fuck around and find out. Oh, Cris, you've been amazing. Shit, we wish we could chat to you longer, but the radio show's just about to start.
It'd be just great to come visit more than anything. I'd love to get over to the States and come visit.
For sure, come see us. It's a fun place to be. People like it here. Well, and I want to go to New Zealand.
Well, you're more than welcome to swing past
Yep.
the studio if you come to New Zealand.
Yeah,
But,
you get the
we've got
the
no exciting animals.
yeah,
Cats, dogs, that's better.
yeah, we've got nothing. Our native animals are just basically most of them got wiped out as soon as cats and rats and dogs turned up here, and our national animal, the kiwi, has just got a big long beak and jams it like all males do into shit that it shouldn't, breaks it, and then starves itself to death on the rig. So we're trying to bring those numbers back as well.
Oh no. Oh man. Well, it was great talking to you guys. I'm glad we finally made it happen and there's no like giant catastrophes today. So
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah.
You're an absolute weapon. We love you. Thanks so much for giving up some time and making this all work and chatting with us. Really appreciate it.
you're welcome. Now my dogs are going crazy. So all right. Bye.
Intruder! Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Not for Radio with Jay and Dunc. The best thing to happen when two men came together since Elton John's wedding.
She's such an absolute gem of a human.
Yeah.
Good on you, Chris.
Yeah, sent through a bunch of great photos and videos as well. One of the attack animal, and also her getting hugged by a big black bear that's like 5 times her size. And then it does one of those big yawns, like it looks like it's going to crunch your head off. I still, with an animal that can open its mouth that big, you want to know something's fucking wild. Real side questy here. Adam Greentree, who's
Saw it. Amazing.
fuck me.
Holy heck. Yep. Worth mentioning.
Yeah, so we'll put it in the show notes as well. So Adam Greentree is an Australian bow hunter, but he goes all around the world, and I really, really like him. Like, I think he does a great job of explaining really complex ecological setups, and so he takes a lot of animals out of these things. He's basically running pest management. Like, if the stuff that he's shooting is either on ballot or he's taking care of some pests. So at the moment he's in the back blocks of fuck knows where in Australia, Northern Territory, Arnhem Land sort of setup, and he's taken down a bull dromedary camel. And I was like, man, that's a big bit of kit. So 2.4 meters at the shoulder, these things, and then the eye line is another meter above that again. So that's how big they are. And everyone would go, oh, fucking camels, I've ridden one of those in Cairo and this, that, and that. He goes, these are different bits of kit. They are pests and they are fucking savage. And so he's seen a bull camel crush the face of a cow, which is the female camel, and then they've got a hard brisket plate on them, crush another camel with that, fucking boot a calf to death that's like an emerging bull, and then the teeth set up on this fucking thing are absolutely things of nightmares. You think of a camel and you go, they've got a mouth like a cow. They've got a mouth like a fucking saber-toothed tiger. Hey.
Oh, it's frightening. I had no idea. Like, he's pulled the gums back and you can see it. And when you were talking about crushing the cow's face, that's with its fucking jaws.
Yes.
Like, it's eating a watermelon.
Yeah. They're fucking nasty looking bits of cat.
Yeah, they're at plague proportions out in the outback in Australia, aren't they? We've got 2 things to do. We have got
My wife's just showing me her boobs through the glass. You just missed that.
Outstanding. Nice
Great
work,
stuff.
Anna.
Thank you very much, Dells. Appreciate it.
She didn't do that, did she?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Hey, just quickly, I want you to tell the 30 seconds to Mars yarn, because we did tease that on a Sniper Elite episode earlier in the week. I think it was Tuesday's episode.
Which part would you like, though? Because it's quite a complex story. Should we? I'm wondering if we could just link it to the actual bit. Basically, the long and the short of it was, I first met 30 Seconds to Mars, or first met Jared Leto in 30 Seconds to Mars as interviewing him when he was in Australia on my first ever gig for MTV. And so I bought this, an American March, what I got told was an American Marching Band blazer, but it's actually like a Marines blazer. Like, nobody's meant to have these things, but it was pretty tiny because I wasn't, like, I'm not a big guy. I'm not Marine size, put it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got this thing at this antique store in the middle of nowhere called Natia. It used to have this amazing antique shop next to a place called the Copper Kettle. If you've been in New Zealand, you fucking know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then fucking make no sense anyway. So anyway, we turn up to Australia on the red carpet, and he sees me, and he beelines it. So I'm wearing like a lower t-shirt underneath that has Ice Cube and Ice-T's face on it or something. Underneath this, it was a jazzy setup. Anyway, so he blitzed this whole line. He was like, nice jacket. I was like, thanks, man. Hey, Jay from MTV New Zealand, Jared Leto, 30 Seconds to Mars. And he's like, where'd you get it? And I was like, not here. And I'm thinking this thing's going great. And he's like, wow, fucking that's a massive coincidence because my bag that was traveling here with all my shit in it to Sydney and Australia has gone missing. And believe it or not, that jacket was in there. And I was like, wow, man, that's crazy. What a coincidence. And he was like, I don't think it is. I think you stole my fucking jacket. And I was like,
this
it's
is
not
spicy for your first red carpet.
Yeah, so this is at the MTVMAs in Australia. And so I said to him, oh, you can wear it if you want. Went backstage, handed it over to him because he basically checked it and it wasn't his one because it had, I don't know, whatever shit old writing in the back of it, which kind of gave it away. Apologised, ended up wearing it as part of his performance. So I caught up with him after his performance. And I said to him, oh, you can have it as a gift. I don't want you coming to this part of the world and having a shit time. So that's a fucking swimming way to start it. The next time he comes back, I'm out with a friend of mine who was like a party boy and had teed up us to go to the gig because he was with a group of girls, some from here, some from over in the US that had come over. Anyway, long story short, one of the girls and I get on really well. And that caused some friction because I was unaware of the fact that although he was in a relationship, he had brought this chick out, and obviously she thought that they were A and they were actually B, or she was B and not going to be the A chick, and so she basically revenge pumped me to get back at him, and then obviously told him about it. So then we have another run in Madrid this time where we're on the red carpet again, and once again I'm fucking oblivious to the situation. And so he blitzes red carpet again because I find out a while later that was the case. And I was like, here we go. So my producer's going, get the cameras rolling. He's going to fucking punch Jay in the face. It's going to be awesome. And we had another frosty reception. And that's the last time we've caught up.
I thought you were going to tell a yarn about having mushroom tea.
Oh, no.
All right, that can be on the podcast tomorrow. It's the fishbowl.
It was from Mars Volta.
Oh! Wrong Mars!
Also a great chat.
Oh, that'll be on the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, war story number 2, then we'll have a winner.
Snipers, reload. Another war story incoming. Eyes on target, scopes dialed in. Let's see who hits the mark.
Okay, here we go. This is from Jameson in the Kruger National Park, South Africa.
Oh, great spot.
Yeah, I'm surprised more movies haven't been shot over that way. Maybe because people don't want to be shot while they're doing shooting movies.
I don't think you are. There's a mess because it's so huge. Yeah. If you look at it on a map, it's massive, and there's so much industry which surrounds it. Like it's like thousands of kilometers, basically, of people that have concessions to hunt animals within the Kruger National Park, or when they get out of the Kruger National Park, they're allowed to be taken.
Let's do a deep dive on the Kruger National Park tomorrow.
There'll be someone that's listening to this that fucking lives or works at the Kruger National Park. I guarantee it.
This war story is how I got a hitchhiker's thumb. It was a regular school day early in the morning on a cold winter's morning in Johannesburg. The average temps were around about -2. First thing in the morning, I got up at 6 a.m. as I usually would switch on the kettle, feed the dogs and cats, nothing out of the ordinary. We fed our 3 mutts a meaty tinned stew soaked in hot water together with their dry pellets. I opened the new tin with the trusty old tin opener and started scooping out some meat. I noticed the tin's lid had bent halfway at a 45-degree angle, and thinking nothing of it, I decided to bend it back with my frozen cold fingers. Then continued to the fridge and placed it in the fridge door for the next day to be used, and walked over to the dog bowls to continue as I usually would. All of a sudden, I noticed a couple of red drops on the table and thought to myself, what on earth is that? I turned my head back and saw trailing my path with several more drops. Going back to the fridge and checking if I'd spilled something, I saw more of that strange red sauce on the tin of the dog food, and then proceeded to look at my hands, realising it would have been on them too, and then I saw it. My stone-cold thumb dangling from my hand like the old-style light string with a little plastic knob on the end. I'd managed to slice it straight to the bone at the joint, like a French chicken drumstick. All of a sudden, it was as if the switch of a button. I could feel every nerve being lit up like a tea light candle. I screamed and ran to my parents' bedroom door, running around like a headless chicken. My stepmother bolted out of bed and found me on the floor with blood shooting out like a projectile vomit from my thumb. She grabbed the closest towel, which happened to be my father's, laying on the floor behind the bedroom door. They rushed me to the local clinic as quick as they could, and after I'd been stitched up, the doctor asked me if I could move my thumb at all. I told him no, and he grabbed my thumb and started wiggling it and asked if I could feel anything. And I looked at him straight in the eye and screamed like a rooster at 4 a.m. He got the message. I could feel it. And told me to keep trying to move my thumb. To this day, 20 years ago, at 33 years old, I'm still trying to move it, but all I've managed to do is reverse the bend in my thumb facing the wrong direction. And now every time I show my thumb, it looks as if it's been sewed on backwards. Then, needless to say, the tendons have been severed, so I can't actually bend it. Would you like to see a photo? I can. I will warn you.
Oh, have you got the blood photos?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
This is way more palatable.
Oh, fucking hell.
Wow. Just chuck that up there.
Oh, that's a beauty. It's a real skeleton, Keith. That
It
one
looks bigger. Isn't it? That could hit the spot.
Take your victory lap, soldier. You've earned your stripes.
Who are we going with? We're going with G-spot thumb.
Yeah, Tom and the Stompton Dick is a pretty good chat.
Yeah, let's go with Tom and the Stompton Dick. Hey, it's been great. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. A reminder, you can become Sniper Elite. The best way to support us. That'll unlock about 250 extra episodes. They become ad-free. You get Monday, Tuesday episodes, Inside Word on Monday, plus more war stories and stuff as well. Like I said earlier in the podcast, we're also now on YouTube.
Alluding to big news next week.
Yes. Yeah. Tegs is screwing up her face. I literally told you not to say anything until that had been confirmed. But Jay went early on it anyway. But you haven't actually said any details. But yeah, something cool is coming, and that will only be for people that are Sniper Elite. So if you've been thinking about diving in, do it now.
Can we say it's our way of giving back to those that have gave so much?
Yeah, and we haven't actually given back a lot this year because there's been a fair bit on behind the scenes. So it's sort of just been, there's been some cash money sitting there, and we're going to spend it wisely, and hopefully one of you will, well, a few of you will reap the rewards handsomely from it. If you would like to become Sniper Elite, like I say, best way to support us so we can continue doing this sort of content. And then also as well, the link for doing so and sending us stories and voice memos and all that stuff is in the description of this episode. Have a great rest of your day.
Yes.
Go well, go long.
And up the waz.
Up the waz.